everybody. I am a person that loves to empower people. I love to help people. I'm one that likes to see people do good in life. I'm here with you, Queen. I can relate to what you're going through, and don't give up. And we can live the life that we want to live and conquer fibroids. So I learned that I had fibroids when I was in my first year of nursing school. So in 2008, that was about a year into nursing school, I went for a routine well women's checkup. I requested for an ultrasound. I remember as a child, my mom suffering with fibroids and heavy bleeding. And she didn't really talk too much about it, but she stated that her doctor said to, get a partial hysterectomy, which is getting half her uterus removed. And that's all she really knew about it. So I remember her coming home from the hospital and just feeling and looking miserable. And that thought stuck with me. So fast forward, I was like, I want to make sure I don't have fibroids. So I requested an ultrasound. The doctor questioned, why do you need an ultrasound? And I was like, my mom had fibroids. I want to just make sure I don't have it. So I got the ultrasound done. A week later, the results came back, and I had a quarter-size fibroid on my uterus. So when the doctor told me that, I was in complete shock, more so about the news of having something growing in my body that I can't really do anything about. And I felt like maybe it was a little bit of denial. I didn't want to believe what was happening. So I disregarded it, really. Putting my health on the back burner, I kind of just continued with focusing on nursing school. I was not ready emotionally. I don't think anyone that goes into nursing is ready for the demands of it. I felt so stressed with trying to meet what was required as far as exams and tests, where I literally did not want to sleep. I would stay high off of caffeine just to stay awake. I ended up experiencing 2 panic attacks that sent me to the ER. I wasn't aware of any signs that I was just gonna lose my breath. Like, it felt like someone was literally choking me. And I was admitted for stress-induced anxiety. So that happened a couple times throughout nursing school. I guess it was more of the self-doubt, the fear, and the stress all together that I didn't think I was going to be able to make it. I overcame it. I ended up passing nursing school and graduating in 2009. And immediately I got hired to work on the med-surg floor. I felt like a chicken with their head cut off, just ripping and running with patients, families, doctors, and everything. So working as a nurse was another stressful time for me, where my unhealthy lifestyle just continued. I went back to the doctor to get just another routine checkup, and I was told at that time that I was not only 30 pounds heavier, but I had high cholesterol in my 20s. So that was like a wake-up call. I would say that was when I actually started to realize where I was headed and where my body was headed. Immediately, I joined a gym right near my house. I got a gym membership and just started working out casually, like 1 or 2 days a week, doing some cardio, jumping on the treadmill 30 minutes or so, and just keeping that routine going for at least a month or so. And then I met a friend, and we started working out together. And she was a bodybuilding competitor. So she competed and she did all these shows. She talked about it a lot. I'm like, yeah, that's great. She ended up introducing me to her bodybuilding coach. By the end of the conversation, she asked me, why don't you compete? And I was like, me? And I'm thinking to myself, do I look like someone that can compete on stage like half naked, right? Like, I was like, I am so out of shape, and that's not something that I would ever do. So I slept on it, and about a couple days later, I ended up contacting her, and I joined her competition prep program, following a consistent exercise regimen, eating a clean diet, and noticing more results. 3 months, I dropped about 35 pounds. At that point, I was like, I actually did it. So I competed in my first show. I was a figure competitor. That feeling became addicting, where I continued to compete year after year, and I did it for about 5 years. So I decided to pursue my personal certification, my personal training certification through NASM, and I became a personal trainer. You know, I was doing everything that I possibly can throughout the day, working as much as I could to meet the expectations of my roles as a trainer, as a nurse, where internally I started to break down. I started to feel drained after training clients, after work. I started to question my purpose. You know, I would come home sometimes and ask myself, you know, like, why am I here on earth? Like, what am I doing? After a while, I just continued to disconnect. I just felt more like a robot, going from training clients and then getting maybe a little bit of sleep and then working the night shift as a nurse. And that continued for about a year.